You're reading a message. Someone you care about just left you on read. It's been 3 hours. You tell yourself it's fine, that you're being dramatic, that this is nothing. But your chest feels tight and your stomach has dropped, and you can't seem to focus on anything else. You think this is about them. The real answer is far stranger. What you're feeling right now isn't an overreaction. It's not weakness. It's a survival alarm that's older than language, older than cities, older than the idea of a phone. And to understand why a little gray bubble can hijack your entire nervous system, you have to go back to a time when being ignored could actually kill you. Let's start with what's happening inside your skull. In 2003, a researcher named Naomi Eisenberger ran a now-famous experiment. She put people inside a brain scanner and had them play a simple online ball-tossing game with 2 other players. Then, partway through, the other 2 players stopped throwing the ball to them. They just left them out. Excluded. Ignored. Nothing physical happened. No one was touched. No one was harmed. But when Eisenberger looked at the brain scans, she saw something remarkable. The same regions that light up during physical pain lit up during social rejection. The dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, the anterior insula, the exact neural machinery your brain uses to process a burn or a broken bone was firing because someone stopped passing a virtual ball. Think about that. Your brain processes being left out using the same circuitry it uses for physical injury. To your nervous system, social rejection and a physical wound are not metaphors for each other. They are nearly the same event. So why would evolution build you this way? Why would your brain treat a cold reply like a stab wound? To answer that, you have to imagine yourself 200,000 years ago. You are not at the top of the food chain. You're slow. You have no claws, no fangs, no armor. Alone on the open savanna, you are food. A single human, separated from the group, was a human with a very short life expectancy. But together, your ancestors were unstoppable. The group hunted together, shared food, watched for predators while others slept, raised children collectively. Inside the group, you survived. Outside of it, you died. This means that for the overwhelming majority of human history, belonging wasn't a nice-to-have. It was the single most important factor in whether your genes made it to the next generation. The people who felt a sharp, unbearable sting whenever they sensed rejection were the ones who scrambled to repair it. They apologized. They smoothed things over. They stayed close to the group. The ones who shrugged it off, who didn't care if the tribe turned cold. They drifted to the edges, and the edges were where the wolves were. So you are the descendant of the anxious ones, the ones who couldn't let it go. Your brain inherited an alarm system finely tuned to detect the faintest hint that you might be cast out. That alarm is the tightness in your chest right now. Here's where it gets stranger. That ancient alarm cannot tell the difference between then and now. Your brain was built for a world of maybe 150 people, a world where being ignored by someone meant a genuine threat to your place in the only group that could keep you alive. It was never built for a world of unanswered texts, ghosted conversations, and a phone that holds 1,000 faces who could approve or reject you at any moment. The psychologist Matthew Lieberman, who worked alongside Eisenberger, described our need to connect as one of the most basic forces shaping the human brain. He argues our brains are wired to reach out and connect with others by default. When you're not focused on a task, your brain doesn't power down. It drifts straight to thinking about other people, what they think of you, where you stand with them. You are running social survival software on a device that no longer faces those survival stakes. But the software doesn't know that. So when someone leaves you on read, your brain doesn't calculate the rational truth that they're probably just busy. It runs the ancient program. It says, you might be losing your place, you might be pushed out, and it floods you with the same chemical urgency your ancestors felt at the edge of the firelight. Have you ever noticed how rejection makes you obsess? You replay the conversation, you reread the message, you analyze the punctuation, the timing, the exact wording. Your mind loops the same thoughts over and over and you can't make it stop. That's not a flaw. That's the alarm doing its job. For your ancestors, figuring out why the group had turned cold was a matter of life and death. The brain that obsessively analyzed the social threat, that searched for the misstep, that worked out how to repair the bond, was the brain that survived. The looping is your mind trying to solve a problem it thinks is lethal. There's another layer to this. The sociologist and researchers studying ostracism, led by Kipling Williams, found something disturbing. People feel the pain of being excluded even when they're rejected by a group they despise, even when they're told the other players are computers, even when there's nothing to gain from that group at all. The alarm fires first. The reasoning comes second, if it comes at all. This is why you can know, intellectually, that a person doesn't matter to you and still feel gutted when they pull away. Your conscious mind isn't driving. The old system is. So what do you do with this? Start by understanding what the feeling actually is. That tightness, that obsessive loop, that ache. It is not evidence that something is wrong with you. It is the precise opposite. It is proof that you are a deeply social creature, built by hundreds of thousands of years of needing other people to survive. The pain is a feature. It kept your ancestors alive. But a feature in one world can become a trap in another. You don't live on the savannah. One person's silence is not the tribe casting you out. 1,000 strangers can ignore you, and you will still wake up tomorrow, fed, safe, alive. The threat your alarm is screaming about mostly doesn't exist anymore. Knowing this doesn't switch the alarm off. You can't argue your nervous system out of 200,000 years of programming, but you can recognize the voice for what it is. An ancient guardian, doing its only job, in a world it was never designed for. The next time you're staring at a screen, 3 hours deep, feeling that drop in your chest, you can pause. And you can say to that old part of your brain, I hear you. I know you're trying to protect me, but the wolves aren't out there anymore. So look again at that message. The gray bubble, the silence that feels like the end of something. It isn't the end of anything. It's the oldest part of you, still standing guard at the edge of a fire that went out 100,000 years ago, still whispering the only thing it has ever known how to say. Stay close, stay wanted, stay alive. And now, finally, you know why. If this gave you a new way to understand that feeling, subscribe and stay close. There's a whole forgotten history living inside your head, and every time we go back and uncover a little more of it,